Is the April 21st meeting of the City of Fall River Traffic Board. Before I start the meeting, I'm going to read the open meeting law. Pursuant to the open meeting law, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium. Attendees are therefore advised that such recordings or transmissions are being made whether perceived or unperceived by those present and are deemed acknowledged and permissible. Madam Clerk, will you do roll call, please?
Helen Rigo,
Here.
Natalie Mello,
Here.
Sergeant Dolan,
Here?
and Officer Farias.
Here. Everyone's present today? First item on the agenda is citizen input. Is anyone here to offer some citizen input? Something that's not on the agenda. Okay, there's no citizen input. Next on the agenda are the approval of the March 17th meeting minutes.
Motion to approve.
Helen Rigo made a motion to approve. Would anyone like to second it?
Second it.
Seconded by Natalie Mello. Anyone opposed to approving the minutes? Madam Clerk, will you take a roll call, please?
Roll call to approve the minutes from March. Helen Rigo,
Yes.
Natalie Mello,
Yes.
Sergeant Dolan,
Yes.
and Officer Farias.
Yes. I'm still here in the... Okay. Going on to curb cuts. First on the curb cuts is 539 President Avenue.
Yes.
Okay. The existing 31-foot curb cut is on Belmont Street. The proposal is to remove 16 feet of curbing on President Avenue to be done during the upcoming President Avenue reconstruction project. City engineer has no objection to this request. In going by there, I see one parking spot is going to be lost on President Avenue. However, I would imagine the curb cut will allow one or two cars to park in a driveway there, so it's a net gain. It won't really affect any parking in that neighborhood. And it's up far enough from Morton that I don't think it's going to affect any of the school traffic either. So I make a motion that this is approved.
Motion to approve.
Well, I made the motion to approve it.
Second.
Helen, you're seconding it? Is anyone opposed to approving that curb cut at 539 President Avenue? Okay, Madam Clerk, can you take a roll call, please?
Helen Rigo,
Yes.
Natalie Mello,
Yes.
Sergeant Dolan,
Yes.
and Officer Tom.
Yes.
Okay, the curb cut at 539 President Avenue was approved.
Thank you so much.
Next is curb cut at 37 Chicago Street. An existing 16 feet of curb cut is on Chicago Street. The proposal is to remove an additional 16 feet of curb cut on Chicago Street to create a horseshoe driveway. The city engineer has no objections to this request. All the neighbors there are parking off street, so that doesn't even affect anyone's ability to park on the street. So I am making a motion that that is approved as well. Would anyone care to second that motion?
Second.
Okay, I made the motion to approve it. Natalie Mello seconded it. Is anyone opposed to approving the curb cut on Chicago Street? Madam Clerk, can you take a roll call, please?
Helen Rigo,
Yes.
Natalie,
Yes.
Sergeant Dolan,
Yes.
and Officer Tom.
Yes.
Okay, that is approved. That's it for the curb cuts. Now it is handicap parking spot requests.
Do you want each of the laws?
For the handicap parking? Yeah. Is it just that you're here for the handicap parking?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna read off the names and the addresses.
Sorry.
All right, prior to going through the handicap parking requests, there's two pieces of advice that we give out. Firstly, from the police point of view, if you're approved a handicap parking spot at your residence, It doesn't technically belong to you. Sometimes people live near convenience stores or restaurants or whatever. If there's a car parked in that spot that you normally use and that car has a handicap placard displayed properly, they are able to do that. On a rare occasion, it happens every once in a while, or if a neighbor has somebody visiting that happens to have a handicap placard, they are allowed to park in that spot. They're not violating any law there.
Even overnight? Because for
Yes.
me, you know what I'm saying, I can't, like, I have like a heart condition and stuff like that, and I feel like, you know, that the parking spot was belonging to me, that I can just,
All right,
Yeah, but
I can tell you this, I've been doing this for a long time, it doesn't happen overnight, or if it does, it's a one-time deal. I don't ever remember hearing a call go out that somebody is continuously in somebody else's handicap parking
Okay,
spot.
okay.
If that were an issue, you could always contact the parking department, we could find out who owns that other car and tell them how to petition for a parking spot.
usually we'll have an issue is if there's another resident that lives on the same street as you do and has a
Yes.
placard. So if they're taking that spot, because by Massachusetts law, it belongs to anyone that has a placard. So if he or she continuously, or if the individual continuously, then like Sergeant Jolin said, you know, give us a call and then we'll notify that person and have them apply for their own.
excellent, but my downstairs neighbor already has a handicap spot, and I have never parked in his handicap, because, you know, because he needs it more, because he's like older than I am, like way older than I am. And like, even though I'm like gonna be 43, you know what I'm saying, but, you know, I don't park in this spot, and I don't think that even though I have a handicap, because, you know, out of respect, you know, but.
Well, and like Sergeant Dolan's saying, it doesn't happen very often.
Okay.
Usually when we put the signs up,
Okay.
there are people that just park there when they're supposed to. But you have that occasion, like when someone lives in that neighborhood and they continuously park there. But usually we can resolve that by either adding another space for that person or making that person come in and fill out an application.
So my mom's neighbors next door, they have like a driveway and stuff like that. They own like the house that's there. They sometimes end up parking like, because they have like 5 cars, and they end up parking in the handicap spot or making it so like my mom's downstairs neighbor can't fully park in his spot. What if they don't have a handicap plate and they park in in the handicap spot?
You need to call. If it's after 5, call the police department.
Okay.
If it's between 8 and 4, I can have my PCOs go down there and they'll tag them.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much, I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Laura, you want to tell them
Yep.
about the process?
So once an application is turned into traffic and it goes in front of the traffic board, the application is approved. What happens then is you're going to see my guys go down and do the measurements. Then the reason why they're doing the measurements, because the second step, it now goes to city council. So the whole process can take anywhere between 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay.
Same thing with the curb cuts. So what's going to happen is we're going to get the applications of the curb cuts down to city council. They then have to notify the abutters, and then it goes into ordinance, and so it takes a little bit
We
too.
have a question about the curb, because she wants to open it on President Ave, not on Belmont, because on Belmont, her driveway is like this small, so it's like, once you get in, you can't even like turn to get out. So it's really hard to get in there, so she wants to open it on President Ave.
Yeah, we're aware
Yeah,
that's
that's-
Oh,
our.
that's
yeah.
where it's
Yeah,
approved?
539 President Avenue.
Yeah.
If it was on Belmont, it would have said 539 President Avenue,
Belmont.
curb cut on Belmont.
Oh,
But
okay.
it does say location of curb removal, 539
That's right.
President Avenue.
All right, just wanted
Okay.
to make sure. Thank you.
You're welcome.
There's a fence there, what fence? She said that she has to open her fence, or the city does it?
Oh, no, you do it.
All we're doing is approving the fact that
Yeah.
there is going to be curbing removed from the street so that she can install a driveway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Whoever's going to do the curb opening or whatever is in private property, you take care of that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Okay, first for the handicap spots is 1951 Pleasant Street. There in the back. I went by there is no off-street parking available. I don't think it's an issue for the neighborhood, so I'm making a motion to approve 1951 Pleasant Street.
Second.
Was that Helen?
Yeah, so all the addresses are changed on your license?
Yeah, I
It
noticed
says
your
Somerville.
license is still
Yeah.
showing Somerville.
Yeah,
Right,
one
there's
says
also
Georgia.
another piece of paper showing that I changed the address at the R&B,
I've got your car registered to Pleasant Street.
correct?
Oh, I see, yep. Okay, so all this paperwork
They
is in
don't
order.
issue you a new
Oh,
license,
okay.
they just tell you to update it on the
Yes,
back or something.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't give you a sticker anymore.
All right,
Okay, so I made the motion to approve, Helen
That's my fault.
seconded it. Is anyone opposed
Thank
to
you.
approving 1951 Pleasant Street? Madam Clerk, will you take a roll call, please?
Motion to approve a handicap space for 1951 Pleasant Street. Helen Rigo,
Yes.
Natalie Mello.
yes.
Sergeant Dolan,
Yes.
and Officer Tom.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. You're all set, sir.
I have one question. Location, since there's like 2 spots on Pleasant Street that you can put it at, is that going to be determined by your surveyors or whoever comes out?
No, the space is going to go as close as possible to the entrance that you use.
Right, there's 2 entrances, that's what I'm saying.
Which entrance do you use?
The first one at the corner of Field.
So they're going to go 20 feet from the corner, and then they're going to put your space.
Thank you.
You're
You're
welcome.
welcome. Okay, next up is 145 Osborne Street. Over here. I have an issue with this one because the request is by the homeowner. He does have a driveway and 2 garages, and in his remarks, he said that his truck does not fit in the garage, and they're not allowed to park in front of the garage.
Well, I'm over here to translate for
Yep.
him. You can't park in front of the garage because that lady that goes around and gives tickets, already give him a few, same day 2 tickets. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you can't park in front of the garage. And this truck doesn't fit in the garage. I tried and everything. Can't open the doors, you know what I'm saying? And he's been operated on his foot. He already cut one of the stones and he
Oh,
cut.
there's no question about him having a handicap placard.
And
However,
he can't walk that.
we have not approved a homeowner that already has off-street parking available to them. We had a gentleman apply about a year ago because he said his driveway was too narrow. We had another gentleman that owned a house and he wanted to be able to park on the other side of the house instead of in his driveway. So as a rule, we don't allow a handicap placard in front of the house if you have off-street parking available to you. I mean, just based on the dimensions of the driveway and the Nissan Frontier pickup truck, I don't understand why the truck doesn't fit. Is there something in the garage that stops it from fitting?
No, it's like when you open it, like when you back it in or you go forward, you can't open the doors.
Well, I'm not gonna break from the pattern that we've held, where he owns the house. He has the off-street parking available to him. I'm going to make a motion to deny this request.
But he can't park in front of his garages, right?
Well, let me ask you a
That-
question.
Yes.
On the bottom of the application, it said here that you would want the poles and the sign on Dussault Street. So can he park on Dussault now?
That's where the garage is.
Oh,
That's where the
garage
garage
is.
is, because his house is right in the corner. And you can't park in Osborne, where his house is. There's no parking on that side.
That side of the street, yeah. You can't park on that.
And Dussault's it's a dead end. If he leaves, and you just leave 5 minutes, somebody's already on your parking space. So, that's what it is, you know?
Sadly, though, I'm gonna make a motion that this request is denied.
Second it.
Okay, the motion to deny, as I've brought it up, and Natalie Mello has seconded it. Does anyone wish to approve this parking spot? Okay, Madam Clerk, will you take a roll call?
Okay. Motion to deny the 145 Osborne Street. Helen Rigo,
No.
Natalie,
Hold on,
No.
let's get the wording right.
Yeah,
You're saying motion to deny 145 Osborne Street?
Right. Aren't we denying it?
Yes, I think Helen said no, which would mean she is not denying it.
Oh, okay, yes, I'm sorry. I
That's
thought-
okay, I just want to make sure it's clear.
So,
That's all.
so the roll call is
Yeah.
for the motion that was made to deny the,
All right,
okay. So Helen
Yeah,
is your,
yes.
excuse me, you're denying it because he's got the garages?
correct.
He has off-street parking available.
Anybody with a parking driveway or a garage,
But you can't
You
park
do
in
for
front-
one, you
I
do
know,
for
but
all.
you can't park in front of that. I've seen
That's
it.
law, yeah.
I've seen the girl go by there and give them
Yeah.
2 tickets the same
and
day.
that's what they're supposed to do.
$40 a piece.
Yeah.
That's their job. And the law, you can't park in front of them, like I can't park in front of my driveway.
I know, and I can't park in front of mine, but I
Yeah.
mean, even if you go there, even if you park 2 minutes, she already told me, I'll tag you.
Yeah,
Even if you park in it and you go inside your house to get something,
it's only doing their job.
I know, she's doing the job, yeah.
All right, let's finish roll call.
Natalie,
Yes.
Sergeant Dolan,
Yes.
and Officer Tom.
Yes.
Okay, the application for 145 Osborne Street is denied.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Let's go.
Next is 137 Barnes Street, right here. I went by there, there's no off-street parking available, no driveway, no garage. I am making a motion to approve this handicap parking space.
Thank you so much.
Does anyone want to second that motion?
Second,
Helen seconded it. Madam Clerk, will you take a roll call, please?
Roll call to approve 137 Bond Street for a handicap space. Helen,
yes.
Natalie,
Yes.
Sergeant Dolan,
Yes.
and Officer Tom.
Yes.
Okay, 137 Barnes Street is approved.
Oh my God, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. 259 Broadway.
Is she here? No, okay. Received the phone call, was at a doctor's appointment. There was no way they were gonna be able to make it.
I have no questions. Well, actually, their RMV information is still showing an old address.
52 Bogle?
Yes.
Okay. They're gonna expire June 2021, so when they get their new registration, it'll probably have the new address.
All right, other than needing to update the RMV information, it's just like Barnes Street. There's no off-street parking available, no garages, so I am making a motion to approve 259 Broadway.
Second,
Was that Helen?
yeah.
All right, Helen seconded the motion to approve. Is anyone opposed to approving 259 Broadway? Madam Clerk, will you do a roll call, please?
Yep. Roll call for approval of 259 Broadway. Helen,
Yes.
Natalie,
Yes.
Sergeant Dolan,
Yes.
and Officer Tom.
Yes.
Okay, 259 Broadway is approved. That's it for the handicap parking spots. Under miscellaneous, we have a request to put a no parking sign in front of some mailboxes at 308 Crescent Street, up there. In my opinion, that's a no-brainer. The telephone pole's already there. You already can't park in front of mailboxes. So I'm making a motion that we do put a no parking sign on the telephone pole at the mailboxes. Does anyone care to second that motion?
Second.
Natalie seconded it. Is anyone opposed to putting the no parking sign on telephone pole? Madam Clerk, can you do a roll call, please?
A roll call to put no parking sign on the utility pole that's right in front of the mailboxes. Helen,
Yes.
Natalie,
Yes.
Sergeant Dolan,
Yes.
Officer Tom.
Yes.
Okay, that's approved. You'll have a no parking sign on your telephone pole.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Next is a request for a four-way stop sign at Aetna and Laurel Street. Okay, there's nobody present for that. I'll read the letter, it's short. I'm a resident of 146 Aetna Street. I would like to request a four-way stop sign at Aetna and Laurel Street intersection. Ever since the houses were built behind the Dollar Tree / O'Reilly's, you could not see while trying to pull out of Aetna Street onto Laurel, especially since they put up a fence. We have witnessed numerous accidents. I understand that there used to be a school where Dollar Tree is, so I assume the need for a four-way stop sign at this section wasn't an issue, with Aetna being a one-way and a school zone, so you have to slow down anyway. As a mother with two small children who has to pull out pull out of Aetna Street onto Laurel daily, I always pray no one is coming. I would like you to please consider my request. Based on the letter, I went by there. There is a white vinyl fence on the
Property.
southeast
Yeah.
corner at that intersection. However, it doesn't impede your ability to see if cars are coming. There's a stop sign already at Laurel and the next intersection south of that location too. It's not on the overhead. I did the research in our computer system. The police, what is it? Orswell, I think it is, you're right, Orswell. There's already a stop sign not very far, the next intersection south. In the last 3 years, we have had 4 car accidents at that Aetna and Laurel Street, which is not significant. So I make a motion that we do not put a stop sign up on top of the other stop sign that's
Okay.
1 block south.
Okay, with that being said, if it's a visibility issue, we can take a look at it and put no parking here to corner, or is it the fence?
Yeah, it's a fence. Honestly, I don't see a visibility issue. If you're coming out of Aetna Street onto Laurel, which is where this complaint is, the person on Aetna Street can still see prior to getting into the intersection. But like we discussed, Laura, I think if it doesn't require a city council meeting, opening Aetna Street up again to a two-way traffic would basically cut that traffic in half, because anyone that wants to leave their house on Aetna is no longer forced to travel to Laurel. They can turn left
That
and
makes
go
sense.
east onto Rhode Island Avenue.
It can be done. Basically, all it is, it's just striking it out. So what we would have to do is take down the signs, let everybody, usually I would send a letter to everyone, letting them know that Aetna will now be a two-way, take down the signs, do the double yellow line down the street.
Stop sign on Rhode Island Avenue at Aetna.
Yes, and it would have to be, but that's a no-brainer. I mean, usually that would take a stop sign. So, yes, as we discussed, I think it will help a little bit with the traffic as well. And then people that visit the plaza on Rhode Island Avenue and Aetna, they tend to come out into Aetna because they don't want to deal with the traffic light, so
Right.
they come up to Laurel, so you get that traffic as well.
I think it would
So-
really cut down on the traffic
Yep.
on
I think it's
Aetna
a
trying to
great
get
idea.
onto Laurel
Yeah,
Street.
That's
and it was a
perfect.
one-way, as I told you, was because when the school was
Right,
there,
right.
because of the
Keep the
school
flow of
buses,
traffic.
they made it all a one-way. Okay.
So, I make a motion that we do not put a stop sign at Aetna and Laurel, however, that we turn Aetna back into a two-way street. Anyone care to second that motion?
Second.
Do you want to do the stop sign too at Aetna and Orswell if everything goes through it? It's already been heard? Or do you want to wait?
You mean,
If we make it a two-way, if
Yes.
we make it Aetna or two-way, and when you're at Aetna to come out onto Rhode Island Avenue, you need a stop
oh
sign.
yeah, you definitely need a stop sign
So we
on
can do that,
Aetna.
we can
Okay.
do that here, I don't have
So
to
it's
bring
3
it.
parts.
Yep,
You're making me think too much.
I'm so sorry.
We will not put a stop sign at Aetna and Laurel.
That's one,
We will
that was denied.
Make Aetna Street
A
a
two-
two-way street, and we
Right.
will erect a stop sign at Aetna and Rhode Island Avenue.
Very good.
That's my motion. Anyone care to second that motion?
Second.
We'll give that one to Natalie, she won the race. Anyone opposed to that three-pronged motion?
Yeah, that's, I've been there.
All right, Madam Clerk, can you do a roll call, please?
Yes. So
Yes.
we're denying the stop sign at Aetna and Laurel. We are requesting that Aetna be a two-way with a stop sign at Aetna and Rhode Island Avenue. Helen Rigo.
Yes.
Natalie.
Yes.
Sergeant Dolan,
Yes.
and Officer Tom.
Yes.
Okay, so again, that multifaceted motion passes.
Okay.
And last, under miscellaneous, is a request for a stop sign on Wall Street at Beatty.
That's you mean. One of them, one direction, please, the stop sign somewhere.
Okay,
Stop.
There hasn't been one there since I moved in 2008,
all right.
on any of the directions. I don't know what you do.
I like that.
Tom and I have discussed, Officer Farris and I have discussed this. Normally, you don't need a stop sign on, in this case, on Wall Street, because they're entering a T-shaped intersection and that traffic has to stop before turning one way or the other. That's common sense, but there's the catchphrase. However, again, if we can do this without going, or if we do need city council approval, I can't see an issue with putting a stop sign on Wall Street. Well, it's only one way anyway, Wall Street northbound at Beatty Street.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, those cars are supposed to stop anyway by motor vehicle traffic law. However, it would be a fine reminder if we can do that
Common sense.
easily enough. So I make a motion then that we do put a stop sign on Wall Street southbound at Beatty Street. I'm sorry, Wall Street northbound at Beatty Street. Anyone care to second that motion?
Second.
Anyone opposed to putting the stop sign there? Okay, Madam Clerk, can you do a roll call, please?
So we are approving a stop sign on Wall Street for traffic heading north at Beatty. Helen,
Yes.
Natalie,
Yes.
Sergeant Dolan,
Yes.
and Officer Tom.
Yes.
Okay, there will be a stop sign put there after your 8-year battle,
13 years.
13-year battle, since 2008.
Thank you.
Okay, next are the rescinded handicap spots.
Oh, I don't have that.
A request from the traffic department to have the following handicap spaces rescinded due to individuals no longer utilizing the space because they have either moved, no longer drive, or have passed away. Davis Street, Locust Street, Pittman Street, Foster Street, Tuttle Street, and Ferry Street. I make a motion that those handicap parking spaces be rescinded.
Second.
Helen seconded the motion. Anyone opposed to rescinding those spaces? Madam Clerk, can you take a roll call, please?
Approval of rescinding HP spaces. Helen,
Yes.
Natalie,
Yes.
Sergeant Dolan,
Yes.
and Officer Tom.
Yes.
Is there any other business for us to deal with?
No.
Nothing more for us to discuss?
Nope, I think we covered it all. Wow, 1:30.
Okay, I make a motion that this meeting be adjourned.
Second.
Natalie seconds the motion. Madam Clerk, will you take a roll call, please?
Motion to adjourn. Helen,
Yes.
Natalie,
Yes.
Sergeant Dolan,
Yes.
and Officer Tom.
Yes.
Okay, this meeting is adjourned.